All right, so now we have a skeleton structure for our shop page. We have a section for all of our filters, and we have a section for the displaying of our products. Now let's go ahead and fill these in. So here in my notes, I'm going to do a few fixes. The first thing I want to do is I want to fix the column grid, and the margin. All right, so that is referring to in the shop page here. If we go in between our row section, you see that we have a column of 3 and 8. Well, knowing Bootstrap, we know that it works on a 12 column grid, and I realized that I was short by 1 unit. So where I'm going to add that extra unit is over here. Instead of an 8, make it a 9. All right, it's a little fix, but that was something I had to fix. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is here in the shop page, I feel this is a little tight here on the sides, so I'm just gonna add an extra add some extra margin, and that's over here. So instead of a 3, add a margin of 4. And then finally, what I'm gonna do is also here add MD in between the column and the unit number, just like this. It's just gonna help with the view in the responsiveness. So when the devices change sizes, it's gonna make a tweak and make it look better. All right. So that's it for the little fix. Let's go ahead and mark this off. All right, next is we're gonna create a products by count action function. Okay. Now let me go ahead and try to explain something. I'm gonna pull up my home page or home component, and that is dealing with this right here. All right, so one thing I realized is that when we were creating our action function for the get products, it displays this here, the 6 items here. But one thing that get products, let me pull up that here. It's in the Redux. So action right here. All right, so that is right here. So this action function, it makes a request to the backend API product, and then at the backend, it goes to our controllers, which here, going to the controllers, I'm gonna pull it up here, and it calls out this read all, which if you look here, it has a method. It calls out the method which limits to 6. And the reason why we did that was because here in the home page, we said that we didn't want to display all the products, right? This is not typically where you want to display all the products. And so we limited it to 6, and you see we have only the 6 being displayed here. So well, I figured, okay, I can make use of this get products function again in the shop page because, right, get the products. But then realizing later on that, okay, we actually use this limit over here on the back end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some changes here. The first change I'm going to do is, so I'm just going to create another action function, which is going to be called get products by count, and add it here, or replace it for the get products method, which is in the home page. Let me show you how we're going to do that. All right, so we're going to go first to the product actions in Redux, for our Redux, and a lot of this is just going to be copying and pasting and just making little tweaks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to copy this action function called get products, and below it paste, and we're going to call this get products by count. And within the method, we're just going to add a / count. All right, so it's going to hit a different endpoint and keep the rest the same. All right, so next, create products. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark this off. Next, we're going to go to the backend route for read by count. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to, all right, let me see, let me kind of separate these. All right, so let me collapse my client folder and go to the routes folder and open up our product file. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to copy this, paste below, and add the /count. And the controller name we're going to give it is going to be called read by count. All right. Next, we got to create a controller on the back end called read by count. So now let's go ahead and go to our controllers, and again copy this read all controller, and below it paste and call it read by count. Now this is the one where we actually want to have the limit method being applied to a limit of 6. So we're going to keep this here. However, for the read all method on the controller folder, we're going to remove the limit here. So this controller would actually fetch every single product, all the products, whereas read by count will limit it to 6. And of course we can also change the limit if we wanted to limit to 4 or whatever. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. Let me go ahead and make mark off some of these things we completed. So the route on the back end we completed, the controller on the back end we completed, and removing the limit method from the read all controller. Yes, we removed that method from there. And then now let's see, replace get products for get products by count in the home component. All right, so now we made our changes on the back end, and we can make use of, we can replace this dispatch of get products on the home page for the get products by count, which again on the back end it's using that limit method, which limits the return of only 6 products. And here the import, we have to change this to get products by count. All right, there we go. So now let's see, if we go, let me refresh the home page, and we should have, we're going to be making of that use of that limit on the back end. It should limit only to 6. So you see we're limiting to only 6. All right, so that's working. And if I go to the shop page, all right, good. But that's it for that. All right, let's see what else. Replace get products for get products by count. Yes, we took care of that. Next, dispatch get products in the shop component. All right, so this method is the one where it's actually gonna return every single product. So there's no kind of limit or filtering of any sort. It just returns all the products on the stored in the database. And we're gonna, let's see, we're gonna make use of that here in the shop component. All right, so the way we're gonna get this started is, let's go ahead and import. Actually, let me start with the use effect first. And here we're going to make some imports from React Redux. So import from React Redux. And what I'm going to extract from there is the use dispatch and use selector. And we're going to extract, we're going to use that action function of get products, and that's coming from, we're going to have to go back one directory, go into the Redux folder, go into actions, and then product actions. All right, get products. What else do we have to return? All right, so we're also going to be making use of the card component. So when we're displaying the products, we want to use the card component. So import card from card. All right, let's see. I think that's it for now. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and store our dispatch in a variable called dispatch. Use dispatch. Now call our use effect. So this executes the moment the component mounts. Okay, and then here, this is where we're going to dispatch our action function, which is the get products. And as a dependency, we have to pass in dispatch here. Otherwise, you're going to see you'll see like a little warning here. Okay, let's see what else. All right, so now at this point, so once the component mounts, use effect is going to be executed and dispatched and going to call the get products, which makes the API request to the backend and returns and retrieves all the products from the database and then stores it onto our Redux store. So at that point, we want to go into our Redux store and pull out those products. So we're going to go const and use selector. And from state, we're going to do state.products. And we're going to extract from there the products. So at this point, we would have all our products in this variable here. Okay, so now that we took care of that, let's see what else. All right, so dispatch get products in our shop component. All right, we took care of that. And then get products in Redux store using the use selector. Took care of that. And then finally, displaying the products with the cart component. Okay. So going back to our shop component. Over here where we have our dummy text, which was a placeholder, we're going to replace this and we're going to add a div. This div will have a class name of row. And within here, we're going to start traversing or going through our products. So what we're going to do is go products and map. And for each map or for each product, we're going to call it P. And then here we're going to call our card component. And the first property we want to add is the key. Otherwise, we're going to see an error. So do p._, and give it the value of the ID. And the next products, or the product, I should say, and give it p. And then finally here, we want to add homepage and make it true. All right, the reason why I'm gonna reuse this homepage property because the reason why is because it's gonna look exactly how our card component looked here on the homepage, exactly like this with our also the buttons, which will be the same for the which is the view product and the add to cart. So nothing's gonna be different. So because of that, we can just make a use of this same property here, which is in the shop page, and just say home page equals a true. So if we do that, save, and we go back, going to the shop page. Now you see we have all of our products being displayed here, and the cart looks exactly as it does in the home page. We have our view product button and our add to cart button. And obviously here to the left side, you see that we have our section here, which will hold all of our filters. All right, but this is good. So we completed everything here. And another thing I want you to take note of is that here, as I said, for the shop component, we made use of the get products, which is supposed to return all of the products, right? There's no limit on it. So it actually returns all 8 products that we have stored in the database. And I can show you here, if we go to the database, you see here under the products, we have a total of 8 products, okay? And if we go here, you see there's 8 products right here. Whereas where we made the change in the beginning, remember where I created another action function, which was called get products by count, which makes that request to the backend, and it uses that limit method of 6. So it doesn't return all the products, it returns only 6. And I can show you that here now, that if we go to the home page, instead of displaying all the products, it shows us only 6. You see, only 6 items here. Whereas the shop page, it actually displays all the products, all 8. All right, so that is it. We took care of everything we needed for now. I guess in the next section, we'll start working on our filters. All right, but that's it for now. I'll see you in another lecture.